Hello everyone. Give me just 1 second. I just need to close the door over here. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to another PCs and EVs live stream. I'm just going to be checking to make sure that I'm actually live, and then once I see that, I'm just going to promote it in a couple of places, and then we'll get right into it. Alright, let's see. I gotta mute myself so there's not an echo. There we go, we've got a thumbnail now. It rotated. Great. Okay, sorry, I'm just clicking through some things on my end, but how's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Okay, I don't understand. It says changes saved when I go onto this and turn on monetization, and then it doesn't save changes. Oh, it's thinking very differently. Awesome. That time I got it. Alright, so I just got to share the video in a couple of places. And once I've got that done, we'll get right to building. All right. All right, just like I said, I'm just sharing my stuff in a couple of places. All right, almost done, guys. I apologize. Alright, here we go. So today we're going to be building a 3070 Ti 12700K build, and I'll be doing some benchmarking on it, and then working to get it listed. In addition to that, what I'll also be doing is I'm going to be attempting to benchmark it with both that 12700K and not 12700K, with both the 3070 Ti and a 6800 XT. And what that'll do is that'll just offer variety to local potential buyers, which realistically is the goal. I recently bought a ton of graphics cards, so I just need to try and minimize the amount of systems and capital I have to tie up to get as many potential variants of listings listed. Alright, so we've got a 12700K, we've got 32 gigabytes of DDR4, we've got a Z690 Aorus Elite AX D4 motherboard. Just got the processor installed in there, and that processor is an 8-core. It's an 8 performance core, 4 efficiency core part, and it's got 24 threads. The way that they do that is, sorry, I'm just grabbing an SSD while I talk. The way that they do that is the performance cores have hyperthreading, the efficiency cores do not. Yeah. Also, thank you guys so much on 1,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me that so many of you guys are willing to stick around and subscribe. Alright, we're going to be putting a 1 terabyte SSD in this. Kind of bog standard at this point. Realistically, basically everything should have a bare minimum of about 1 terabyte SSD, unless you're going extremely budget. And reasoning for that is that 1 terabyte SSDs have gotten quite inexpensive. I mean, they're somewhere in the realm of $40 for a more inexpensive one, and for $40 for 1 terabyte SSD versus like 25 for a 512 gig, it doesn't make sense, especially if you're building computers to resell. It doesn't make sense to save the extra $15 there, because it's just gonna hurt sales, at least in my opinion. I just gotta go. Actually, I don't need to grab another screwdriver kit. Let's just put the smaller bit on there. Oh, this is the smaller bit, which means it actually should be fine to install the M2 screw, which it is. Now let's get that heatsink reinstalled. But yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good morning. It's about 9 a.m. where I am. I'm actually going to CarMax today because they have a Mazda MX-30, one of the worst EVs ever created, and I think I'm going to shoot a video on that while I'm there. I'm also going to get them to quote what they'd give me for the Genesis, just because I'm there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reviewing one of the worst EVs, or at least doing impressions and walk around and interior, to one of the worst EVs that's ever been made. I mean, the thing literally has a 33 kilowatt hour battery pack, and it's good for about right around 100 to 120 miles, if I'm remembering correctly. And for that, you pay $30-something thousand. It's absurd. Alright, so we've got the CPU, the memory, and the SSD all installed in the motherboard. Let me grab what cooler we want to go with. Are we going to put it in a weight case? I don't think so. Yeah, we're going to go with a Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120. Which technically isn't LGA 1700 compatible. Actually, I wanted to remove the foam from this and break it down, so that I don't have to do that later. But yeah, technically this isn't LGA 1700 ready. Though I do have a couple of the LGA 1700 upgrade kits that just give us new standoffs and a new backplate. So, shouldn't be any issue. Alright. Let's see, where are they? They're in the far corner. I think that's the new backplate that they come with. Yep. It's 1700 compatible. I've used some of the stock that I got that was LGA 1700 compatible on not LGA 1700 CPUs. So not Intel Z690 or Z790. And so I just have extra mounting hardware. Sorry, just breaking the box down so that it doesn't occupy all of my recycle bin. So much single-use plastic. Unfortunate, but nothing really that I can do about it. That's for sure. Okay, one standoff thing done. Now, obviously, the mounting hardware isn't quite as good as something like an NHD15. But really, I don't expect it to be honest. Not when it's a $40 cooler. Wrong order. But what are you guys up to today? Doing anything fun? Okay, now I place the other side standoff thing on the board and screw that in. Okay, this might not end up working, but we'll see. Oh, I did include the arms. Okay, thank goodness. Except they don't seem to mount. Trying to remember how this works. Obviously, I don't have instructions for this mounting hardware just because it's just an extra kit of mounting hardware from another LGA 1700 cooler that was for it's the same model and everything, so I'm not concerned about like compatibility or anything. Alright, give me just one moment, guys. Alright, sorry. I'm just trying to take a look. I know the photo's sideways for the thumbnail, and I don't know why. I'll have to fix that in future live streams and stuff. Alright, managed to get this stuff mounted on there. Which is good. I now remember the LGA 1700 mounting hardware to be very finicky. So I'm just going to grab the set of arms from this one. And we're going to call it good. Because it'll be fine. All right. So, let's see. Let's see what's going on, and see if I can't get this cooler mounted here in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, this only has one mounting set of spots. So definitely much better. None of this trying to fit it in off kilter or anything. But yeah, what's everyone up to today? I mean, I've actually got my MKBHD 251 Atom. The new MKBHD shoes, those are delivering today. I'm excited to see what those look like. They seem like they look pretty nice. I've never really worn flat bottom shoes, so it'll be interesting for me. That's probably mounted the wrong way. It is. Okay, so I gotta unscrew those 4 screws and mount these the other way. Alright guys, is it getting choppy for you guys, or is that just for me? Looks like it got choppy for a minute and then fixed itself. Alright, man, this is part of why building a computer takes me so long, because I gotta flip everything 3 or 4 times. I can never get fans screwed on the right way the first time, cooler mounting hardware, none of it. Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Miranda, how's it going? I was just talking about, I'm going to go see a MX-30 since the local CarMax has one, and I'm probably going to record a scathing video on it because, as you know, it's a $30-ish thousand EV, right, that has a 33 kilowatt hour battery pack. I also have been struggling to install this cooler, but that's my own incompetence. Yeah, what a bargain. I mean, if you compare it to Tesla Powerwall pricing, it does still look good. Wow. I just realized what I said. Miranda, what are you up to today? Getting any good deals? Nice. Actually, hilariously, I'm streaming off the MacBook, completely wirelessly. I'm using continuity camera with the iPhone, and then I have a little dongle plugged into the bottom of it, as well as it powered, so that it's on my mic that's right here, which just connects via, I presume, 2.4 to the receiver. How's the audio sound? Should be generally pretty good, but I'm just double checking. Because technically it goes through like 3 different sets of wireless. It goes wireless to the receiver, then wired into the phone, and then wireless from the phone to the MacBook, and then out to you guys over Wi-Fi. Yeah, I agree. However, this is like the easiest thing to do because I just put my phone on tripod right there, plug in the dongle for this. Normally, I've been streaming without the audio, without the wireless mic, and I've just been doing phone audio, like built-in mic, and it's fine, but it's not the same. So this is the same setup I use to record all my videos and stuff, except I don't record the videos on the MacBook. But continuity camera is definitely pretty much a game changer when it comes to just ease of using iPhone to record and stream. Because I just open up my MacBook, open up Streamlabs, and I'm like, yes, I want to use Thomas iPhone 14 Pro camera. And it's like, okay. And just grabs it, turns the camera on the phone, and casts it over, I guess would be the correct terminology, to the MacBook. I had to unplug and replug the mic set twice, just to get it to start recognizing it, which is pretty normal. I have to plug in, unplug, and replug usually to get it to work. Yeah, I know you can do it with like Droid Cam and stuff like that, but that requires an extra app and stuff, versus it's just like, hey, do you want to allow the MacBook to use this phone? And I'm like, yes, why, yes, I do. Tim Apple. Actually, it's Tim Cook. Awesome. So, got our heatsink installed. Alright, Miranda, I need you to make an executive decision for me. That executive decision is going to be what case am I using? Options are, so backtrack. Going to be a 3070 Ti or 6800 XT with 12700K, 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte NVMe. Okay, that's baseline. Options for cases. Montech Air 1000 Premium. Land-cooled 205 Mesh C, though that's a little low end. Land-cooled 2 mesh, Montech Air X, Corsair 4000X. I do not want to mess with Corsair stuff, actually. So not the Corsair 4000X, but I'm kind of leaning towards one of the Montech ones, I think. Personally. Even though they're about the same price as some of the other offerings. Well, let me come over here and look. Yeah, I've got Landcool 2 Mesh C. I've got a deep cool case. I'm not using the Fractal Torrent with this. I'm going to do that with the 7950X 4090 that I've got coming. I think we'll do the Air 1000 Premium. It's actually a really, really, really good case for the money. It's around $75 shipped to your door. Comes with either a mesh or glass front panel, 3 front 140 ARGB fans, and 1 rear 120 ARGB fan. That's the mesh panel. So I'll actually set that next to this. I also really, really like the Landcools. Yeah, no, I realized, Miranda. Thank you. I'll probably just delete the VOD. But, anyways. Miranda, question. Do you have YouTube Premium? I don't know. Most people I know do. Or a lot of people do. I get annoyed with enough with ads that I ended up just getting YouTube Premium. Just swapping the front panel out with the mesh, and it's toolless to do that. It comes with either front mesh or front glass. It's a hinged glass side panel. Let me put this in the case. Alright, let's see. Let's get this back in this box. Yeah, I have it. I don't use Vance. I just use YouTube Premium because I'm lazy. But yeah, I mean, this case is $75. It's got pretty decent cable management space in the back. The rear thumb screws are captive, so obviously, for those of you who don't know what that means, it means that they stay on the rear side panel. They stay on the rear side panel. For the... God, my brain just died. They stay on the rear side panel so that you don't lose them. So that, yeah. Alright, let's get our case mounting hardware out. Yeah, I mean, this case's front I/O is one USB 2.0 and two USB 3.0. It's got a built-in ARGB hub. It is quite nice, honestly, for the money. Also, thank you all again for 1,000 subscribers. I wouldn't have been motivated to get as far as I have without all of you guys supporting me along the way. Alright. But yeah, no, this case definitely, it's targeted at like the Land Cool as its competitor for a fraction of the cost, realistically. And it's already got all the standoffs pre-installed for me. Nice. I'm sorry? Oh, name of the case. This is the Montech Air 1000 Premium. Okay, let's get this board screwed in using our screwdriver from lttstore.com. Honestly, I gotta say, it's a really nice screwdriver. I've been using it for about 3 months now, maybe more. Somewhere in that time frame. Yeah, I mean, the 205M seems to be a pretty decent deal, depending on what you get it for. $51 for an MATX case. It's ARGB, so it does have that going for it, but that's about what they are at my Micro Center as well. If I had seen them when my Micro Center was running a promotion recently with all the open box discounts and stuff, I would have definitely picked them up. But the MATX nature of the case definitely does limit your options some. Alright, all the screws are in. So, like, look at how good that looks. Obviously, I don't have any cables plugged in yet. But we're going to get there. And it looks really, really, really nice, this motherboard. Okay, that's plugged in. This motherboard in this case just fits very well. All of the spots are grommeted, including these ones at the bottom. You know, the ones where manufacturers normally would cheap out and not grommet. I actually prefer the stock, well, I'll plug the ARGB header in. As long as I can get it to reach. Nah, I'll just plug it in at the top of the board. That'll be simpler. Remove the top mesh. Sorry for you guys hitting the case itself. That's just because I have a lapel mic. Yeah, it's hard. Like a lot of times what I've been doing recently is I'll list like a set basic configuration. And then I've been offering, hey, if you want to switch it to this instead, it would cost X amount more or X amount less. But yeah, especially with like that 3900X. I mean, honestly, it's an expensive chip. It's not too expensive, but it's expensive enough, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. Or at least it seems to be expensive enough. Like, yeah, it's not crazy expensive, but it's expensive enough that anyone who wants that tier of performance is probably able to be talked into it after the fact. Like, oh, I listed it with like a... Oh, is it Starlink launch? No worries. I don't blame you for going to watch Starlink launch. Those things are so routine. Honestly, like... Like, when's the last time SpaceX had a Starship RUD? It's been quite a while. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're just wiring up some front panel header stuff right now. Alright, that's all done. Time to see... Time to see about... What's it called? Power supply. That's the word. a 650 should be fine. Yeah, 650 should be plenty. Alright, I was just trying to see if I could find my pixel so that I can, sorry, just taking like 4 or 5 moments just to think. Is stream still working? Just trying to make sure. Yep. Okay, we're good. Alright, let's get this power supply open. Hey Mark, how's it going? Thanks for supporting me for so long. I know you probably didn't hear the news, but we hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which is the monetization threshold. So now I can actually start earning a couple of pennies here and there for doing it. All has been good on my end. Hope everything is good with you. I'm actually going to go take a look at a Mazda MX-30 today. If only to record a video. It's at a CarMax local to me. And if you aren't aware, that's like the worst EV ever made. It's got like 130 mile range and it's like 35 grand. And it's not like it's a Mini Cooper where it's like, oh, it's designed, you can kind of understand because it's a Mini and it's got a brand following. No, it's just a Mazda. It's just some random Mazda. If they'd put that range on an electric Miata, it would have sold like hotcakes. The CX-90, isn't that the Volvo? The Volvo flagship one? If it is what I think it is, then it seems pretty good, honestly. VGA1. VGA2. Because I think that's that's their flagship model, if I'm remembering correct. That's like the Volvo flagship EV. And if that's actually the case, then it seems pretty nice from what I've seen online about it. Okay, how many? Oh, the Mazda. I have no idea. I don't normally follow Mazda, I'm going to be completely honest. I just know about this one because it was only sold in California, which I'm not actually near. But it's interesting to see all like you can only sell it here stuff. Yeah, I would presume since it's like a flagship vehicle, I think the Straight Pipes just had done a review on it and asked whether it was worth spending the extra 10 grand from like a Telluride or something, or a Palisade. I didn't watch that review, but I saw it pop up. I haven't had a chance yet. But like the MX-30, the reason I care about it is they've only sold about 500 of them. I don't know how many of them they've made, but they've only sold about 500 of them. So if I actually go and take a look at one, it'll probably be one of the rarest cars I've ever seen. And it's only like 110 miles of range or something for like $34,000. I'm still driving that Genesis. The Genesis GV60. Well, this power supply is annoying with this case. Ah, no wonder. There's 2 screws holding it in. I'm going to have to move the hard drive cage up slightly. What about you, Mark? What are you driving? Get this power supply installed, then cable everything up. And once I get the power supply in, we'll be good to start getting the graphics card. And we'll put that in here. I had to pop those two cables through in a different spot. USB. HD audio. Alright. Working on slowly dealing with the large mass of cables, because there's a lot of cable. Slightly more fiery landing than usual, but still successful. What happened? You can't just leave me hanging like that. Did they, like, light the planet on fire? Oh, yes, T-Tub. The reason that they canceled the launch that I was really close for at 2 a.m. was because T-Tub didn't load. Or they had an issue with T-Tub. Yeah, dude, like, it's a very good looking case. It's got 3 front 140s that are ARGB. Sorry, I'm just struggling to get CPU EPS plugged in up in this top corner. There we go. Whatever, as long as you're over there. Come on. I'm using an older power supply. It's a 650 GQ. It was new stock though, unopened. And should be plenty for going with like a 3070 Ti, 12700K. I wouldn't use it with like a 4090, but this isn't getting a 4090. Oh no, they are semi-modular. And I prefer to plug in after the fact, honestly. It just pulled the grommet completely through. No. All of the spots on the case are grommeted. All of the pass-throughs, including the ones down at the bottom. Like for HD audio and USB and stuff, those are all grommeted. They're not Wallaced, they're just grommeted. Okay, let me grab the 3070 Ti that I got for 300 bucks. Okay, we'll use the plebeian Corsair A500 screwdriver to undo this time. Then I'll rotate the case and I'll build so that you guys can see. I just gotta move this. I don't need to sit, so what the fuck? All right. There we go. I just had to push on the back of the case for a second. First time I've ever had to do that with these cases. I blame the GPU because it's the easy thing to blame. Okay, let's get the 6 plus 2 together. Good old EVGA. All right. So, Miranda, what do you think? Obviously, I just got to zip tie these back. Right? Honestly, like, this thing looks pretty, this case looks pretty great. I'm just going to have to move the MacBook for a little bit. Where'd you grab a screw? I heard you grab a screw or something. You grabbed a washer. I am for once going to undo this. Because this is turning into a nightmare at the moment. Just for running the cables where I want to so that you guys can see once I turn it on. Boom. I don't actually want Ethernet in yet. Win 11's ready to go in the top, as are my mouse and keyboard. So Miranda, I think this case looks beautiful. Especially with the mesh. I'm not a big fan of putting glass on the front, honestly. But next, install Windows. Alright. Nope, don't have a product key. Win 11 Pro. Hey, Dirk_database, how's it going? Yeah, that's also true. Nobody cares what you think, Miranda. I'm kidding. More so, it's just what the market will purchase, which I know you agree is a lot of the times RGB. RAM, memory, and cooler, case and motherboard will be there Friday. Ooh, great. What are you doing for a graphics card? If you're doing a dedicated graphics card at all. Oh, nice. Not a bad pairing. Not bad at all. There we go. Hey, well, congrats. Glad for your sake that you're almost done. It's always a big achievement. And honestly, this thing came out looking really good. I'm gonna... Hey, Dark Database, are you in the US? If so, you should check out java.gg. I'm not sponsored by them, but I've sold many a thing on there. And a lot of times, like, parts are significantly cheaper on there compared to, like, Newegg and stuff, so at least give it a look. I'd keep an eye out for 6600 XTs on there. But yeah, those should pair very well together. Glad to hear you're getting the motivation to do something that you want. It's always good to see. Yeah, it makes sense. The ZTT Discord's definitely something that's a pretty good resource for that. OOBE, bypass, NRO, enter. Miranda, I know, actually, no, you don't do full PCs generally, so never mind. I was going to ask if you'd run into the issue where when you do sysprep, that it leaves the original user that you were doing. Yeah, it's going to be a huge difference. It's going to take a little bit to get used to mouse and keyboard, and you can still use controller in a lot of games. Not every game has controller support, but a ton of them do. The only two games that I use controller for is BeamNG Drive and Madden. And that's because no way I'm learning how to play Madden on keyboard. Miranda, I don't know how to do these fancy things that you talk about. Ah, that's true. Mouse and keyboard from gaming on like laptops and stuff definitely does help. You get used to it at least. Okay, we're plugged in. Motherboard has 2.5 gig, and I've got 2 gig networking here. Symmetrical, actually, which is very lucky to have. So we'll see how fast I can get Windows up to date and everything. Shouldn't take too long, realistically. Can you DM me that set of instructions you just did so that I can actually like remember it? All right. Advanced options. Let's get all the optional updates. All right. I can try. Not 100% sure how well that'll work. It might be a little shaky, just because you guys are on a tripod at the moment. Let me start by unplugging. So it's got a 3070 Ti. It's got that Peerless Assassin PA120. It's actually got 32 gigs of Trident Z Royal memory. And it's got the EVGA 650 GQ. It's got 12700K on a Z690 Aorus Elite D4 motherboard. I gotta double check now to see that my framing is still good. Okay, I gotta rotate it this way a little bit. That's a lot better. Thank you. Alright, it just went dark and just installed an NVIDIA driver. Great, I need one of those, so always quite useful. Okay, so that's how that would get rid. So Miranda, that would get rid of the user account that I set up every time. 2.168. Oh, I just went to the website, not to the... Whatever. Okay. Thank you, Mark. This is a great build, and it did end up coming out pretty great looking. Miranda, I just do a regular install because every system's going to need different drivers and stuff. Honestly, because I don't know how I'd go about messing with that. Like, some of them are going to need NVIDIA drivers, some of them are going to need AMD drivers, some of them are going to need Z690 chipset versus Z790 chipset versus they're all different boards, so I'd need different drivers there. I just don't know how I'd do that with just a single image. There we go. Trying to rotate it now so you guys can see the fans a little better. I won't be able to benchmark this on stream, so that means our stream is going to be coming to an end here soon. But as always, it was a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. Dark database, I have not tried a sensor panel. Actually, if we want to stop focusing on computer building and everything, well, actually, I could throw another one together. This one's just not fully ready. Mark, I'm going to be honest, I haven't had time to shoot regular videos, so I have just been doing a bunch of shorts. And shorts are easy to do just while I'm charging. I just shoot a brief little short video and everything. So, Dark Database, I build and sell gaming computers. Locally and on Java. So this one's going to get sold and everything here in the nearish future, hopefully. But yeah, Mark, I just haven't had the time, realistically. I still have to shoot a full review on the Genesis GV60, and actually I have to shoot a review on our Model Y that we purchased on Cars and Bids, as Doug DeMiro would say. We got it for a pretty decent price. A very agreeable price for that Model Y, given it's a couple years older and it had decent mileage on it. We were very happy with it. Alright, this is ready to restart now, so I'll get that going on a reboot. I guess I'll throw it down at my feet. What do we want to build next? I'll let you guys choose. I've got a 7700X, 7900X, and sorry, no, 7800X, 7900X, I think. Let me come look. Sorry, no, I've got 7700X, I've got 7900X, And I've got 7800X 3D. Nah, so most of the time when I flip, I'm buying individual parts for relatively cheap. And then throwing those together and reselling. $7,800X 3D, 6,800 XT. Okay. I can do that. All right, ATX or MATX? I'm going to just end up moving this down onto the floor. So I'll unplug my mouse and keyboard from it. And I may end up having to unplug my display. We shall see. I don't think I will, actually. Yeah, no, I didn't have to, thankfully. I do not have any 6600 XTs for sale. And Father, I thought I was waiting until the 4090 came in to do that. To use that chip. I was going to offer it with the 4090 or with the 4090 with either the 78X3D or the 7950X. All right. Because, I mean, I have a 4090 on the way. That should be here. Today's Thursday, right? That should be here today. So I guess I could build it. Or should I start doing... Well, I was going to do... All right. Should I start working on... I don't have a power supply capable of a 4090 at the moment. Crap, that's an oversight. Yeah. So 78X3D with 6800 XT with a 750 watt. And I'll build that in a LAN Cool 3 mesh. Tempered glass black RGB. Yes, it was going with the 7950X for the 4090, but the problem is that I can offer also getting a 7800X 3D with it. It's not a problem, but the problem, what is a problem is that I don't have another super high-end thing. You are correct in the fact that I need to get rid of it, for sure. No, I don't want Norton. Yes, I want BIOS and I want RGB Fusion. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll build with this. B650 Pro P Wi-Fi. I don't know if any of them have a BIOS to support X3D. So I'll probably have to update BIOS on everything. This does, but it looks kind of messed up on the BIOS flashback button. So we'll find out. Can you start making me a BIOS for the B650P Wi-Fi from MSI? If not, I'll have to go in the other room and come grab it. Please and thank you. All right, so we've got our 7800 X3D going into our AM5 socket. Talk about always a sketchy process. I wish that all the CPUs had pins on the CPU instead of on the motherboard, even though I know we needed to do it this way for signal integrity and everything. It doesn't make me happy with it. I always feel like I'm going to drop the CPU into the socket. Alright, what do I have for RGB D5? 6000 C36. 6000 C36. Okay, both 32 gigs. Oh, these are Neos, so these are AMD. Okay, one stick in. So we're putting 32 gigs of DDR5 with this. At 6,000 megatransfers a second. I guess I should probably put a 2 terabyte SSD with this, I guess. Because, I mean, it's an X3D. So I got my HP 2 terabyte drives. They were cheap. Honestly, yeah, they're good. They're good enough. I just gotta keep an eye on the time, because at about noon, I gotta leave. Alright, oh, I should ask you guys. Do you want me to put this in another black case, the Lancool 3? Or should I put this in a white case and do a white ARGB cooler on it? And it'd be a Lancool 2 Mesh C. And it'd be a ARGB white air cooler. What do you guys think? I'm leaning towards the white Lancool 2 Mesh C, but that's just me personally. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I'm going to work on seeing about grabbing a BIOS and everything. White builds are your kryptonite? Yeah. Alright, so we'll do the white build. Considering I don't have any high-end white builds listed right now, even though it's going to have a black graphics card and stuff, it's not going to matter. It's still going to be in a white case, a white ARGB case, and that's really all that people are going to pay attention to. Alright, where's my Wraith Prism? Just going to sit it on top so I can do the BIOS update. Let me go grab that. And I'll be right back in here. Oh, special delivery. BIOS update. Thank you, kind citizen. Update BIOS in USA. Alright, we'll get to work on the BIOS update here in a split second. I'm just trying to... I'll just shut down the other one. Where is the flash BIOS port on this one? Right there. Okay. Okay. Alright, there's not really a button on my board at the rear. Can't tell if that's because the board got damaged or what. But I'll just boot it with a different CPU. Yeah, so BIOS flashback isn't going to work on this board. Oh well. I can just boot it with a 7700X. And then put the 7850, or not 7850, the 7800X 3D back in. Let's put a tiny more paste on this. Yeah, let's clean off the existing paste and then put a tiny bit more on. But yeah, this one has a bent, or I don't know. The BIOS flashback button doesn't appear to be functional, which is fine. But yeah, I mean, so far so good on the day. Builds are going good. Let's get a little bit of thermal paste in there so that we can do a BIOS update. And then we'll keep on rolling. Well, this is out of thermal paste, so that tube's done. Let's try this tube of Noctua. It had some in it. Don't need much, just need a little bit. All right, let's see. Just gotta get my USBs plugged in as well. It'll eventually boot. I forget how long. I forget that AM5 takes forever. F1 to run setup. M-Flash. Yes, I would like to enter flash mode. Meanwhile, while we're going through the BIOS update on that, I'll show you guys the graphics card we're going to use. Obviously, once we get the BIOS update going. Let's put the CPU in a clamshell so that I don't have any issues. Enter flash mode. It does not see a BIOS for this. So we'll have to work on this a bit later. I think I'm actually going to be done streaming now, guys, but it was good hanging out with you guys for quite a while. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys tuning in, and thank you guys so much again for 1,000 subscribers. Really can't believe it. You guys are amazing. And as always, guys, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next